Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Veil, a show that provides insight into the world of weddings. I'm your host, Keith Willard. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about the ultimate question. Well, maybe not the ultimate question, but the question that brides typically ask themselves after the ultimate question: what am I going to wear? Because with all the different kinds of fabrics and styles and cuts out there, that answer is almost like overwhelming. But our guest today has been making a livelihood of helping people find that answer. But before I introduce him, because you probably know who he is, Monte Durham from Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta. But before I introduce him, let me introduce my co-host, Marcy Gutenberg, with An Affair to Remember by Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hello.
What? I am so freaking excited. I can't
Very exciting day today.
It really is. And you know, the thing is that we got to talk to him a little bit before we went live, and he's just such a lovely human being.
Yes.
But you know, the thing is that no grass grows under this man's feet. None. Because it is crazy how much. I mean, I was doing a deep dive into like what's happening behind the scenes with him, and
so much.
He's got so much going on. So let's bring him on. All right, Monte Durham. Hello.
Hey,
welcome.
Everyone.
Hello, Monte.
So tell me, has it really been that cold down there? You're in Florida, right?
Shit,
Yes.
it's not cold. Oh, sorry.
Live show. Are the iguanas? Are the iguanas really falling out of the trees?
Well, so that happened like a month ago. So they call it Iguana Thunder. And so what happens is once the temperature hits like 50 degrees or below, they start like hibernating, and so they fall out of the trees onto your ceiling and onto the flower. Yeah, whatever.
There's just some things not everybody needs to know. But I'm glad I'm aware of it now.
Oh my goodness.
No.
So are you in Alexandria? Is that where you are right now?
Yeah, right outside of historic Old Town Alexandria.
Right.
Down the road a little bit.
Well, because I know that's where your store is, that your main store, which is it called Monte? M-O-N-T-E?
Yeah, Salon Monte. And unfortunately, I didn't do a very good planning with the architect we were thinking. So the header on the building, it's a corner building. There's not enough room to put Salon. Salon usually sets above the M, and then it's Monte, right? The logo.
Right.
Right. So now the building, when you come around the corner, it just says Monte. It's a damn
That's all you need.
So people walk by. It's a very small boutique. We offer concierge service. But anyway, people walk by and can't figure out, is it a decorating store? Is it, what is? And before we revealed that it was going to be a hair salon, I had the windows covered, and it just said, "See y'all in September." And I wrote my name. So people started applying to be wedding consultants. They thought I was opening a bridal shop.
Well, because you opened that September 12th of 2020, right?
Yes, to a lot of fanfare, I have to tell you, in the midst. And we opened, there's a couple of things that were going on. Unfortunately, my father passed away 2 weeks prior.
That sucks.
So, so if you back that out, what I was dealing with that, right? And then we open up 2 days before. The guy painting the ceiling, because I wanted a red one. And clients now tell me when they lay back to get shampooed, it's like looking under a Christian Louboutin shoe. But anyway, so I had a flood in the salon, and then there was no water the night before we opened, but we got it all done. But we opened during COVID at the height of it.
That's what I'm saying. Is you opened during COVID.
Oh, and then
are you crazy? I mean, nobody else would have said, "Oh, you know what? Let's do a brand new store." Okay, during COVID, everybody. Okay, fine. Let's, I mean, and you were like, "Okay, yes, let's do this. Let's do a store opening," because and I think that maybe that you were thinking ahead of the curve, because we were all getting tired of sitting in our pajamas watching, Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, and so like we're like, "Oh, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go to this new store."
Yeah, it was interesting. Our first quarter was our last quarter, and successfully we were way over our projections. So we treaded gingerly there, but our success was inside the salon. We're divided it into like cubicles.
Yeah.
Because, when you're in a salon, we talk some very personal things, not only your hair, your marriage, the baby, the children, the husband, the affairs. So I wanted to make sure, and I'm in a private room in the back, so I don't get all the juice until the end of the night. But, So we were able to run efficiently and comfortably, effectively and healthily all through COVID. So that made a huge difference for us. So we didn't have to bring in the plexi shields. We didn't have to do any of that.
So let me, I'm going to reverse a little bit because obviously,
Marcy, we're in trouble now.
I know. Well, but obviously you're well known because of Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, because, and as an event planner, I don't know when I even have time to talk to anybody, much less try to do a TV show. How did that all come about? How did you go from doing your thing? Because, when I was reading your bio,
bullshit.
Yeah.
There's so much written about me. I'm beginning to believe it.
But that you have a pretty good bio before Say Yes to the Dress. That's what I'm saying. Is that were you working in some random shop and somebody came in and said, "Hey, you'd look good on TV," and you're like, "Good for you. I'm not 20. Screw you." Okay.
Well, first of all, I've never been told I'd look good on anything.
Maybe a dollar bill or something. I'm just saying
a few things, but I'm going to keep that personal. But anyway, so anyway, what happened? I was a trunk show representative. Lori was our top account. We became best friends.
Yeah.
And I was down there all the time. Well, they reached out to her because her daughter's wedding was on Platinum Wedding. 18-foot veil, cathedral wedding. I did the makeup, the hair, the styling.
Right.
So Platinum Wedding knocked on her door. I'm from West Virginia, and I went and opened a little hair salon there and thought I'm going to back out all this. And she called me up and she said, TLC's interested in a show. Now, this is 13 years ago.
I was about to say, and this has been a bit.
Right. And I'm like, I don't know. She goes, come on down. Let's try it out together. And I go, I really don't. I kind of got this gig. I've always been on the back side of the camera where I prefer. So I just really don't know it. And finally, she just called me up. She goes, you've got a ticket waiting for you. Get your ass down here. We're going to do this. And I thought, well, what do we do? What are we going to do? But I have to tell you, I look back on those first episodes. You got the camera, you got all that stuff. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking, oh my God. And I was like, do you like that dress? Do you want to try that dress on?
Yes.
The fitting rooms are over there. And now, you're like, look, honey, there ain't no sense beating a damn horse. Let's take it off and start over.
Nice. So by the way, let me introduce Brooke looking stoner with Brooke. Oh my God. Sorry, Brooke.
Hey, Brooke.
Hi. I'm glad that he just tried to make me your new employee, Marcy.
I was about to say, she's always so on time. I just have to say, she's always so on time. But I didn't want it to feel awkward later when you're like, who is this third person that's down here?
Right.
So, okay, so here you are interviewing for TLC, right? And wasn't it an interview process, or were you just doing your thing and they said, yes, we like you?
Really, they literally just set up the cameras and said, do what you do. So, and we are never told what to say. We may be asked to repeat something if the cameras weren't on us,
right? But
we really aren't told. And we know nothing about these brides. I mean, when you see us meeting them, we're meeting them. We have no background. Every now and then they'll tell us if the brides, there's a health issue, but we don't know. Issues. Yeah. Well, I would like to say that's few and far between, but that's not the case.
I was about to say.
But they'll let us know if there's a health issue, but not tell us who, or if there's recently been a death in the family. And that keeps me from saying, come on, let's put that dress on, get out there and knock them dead.
But because when you watch these live shows and when you talk, when you look at TLC and you see these reality shows, quote unquote reality shows, you wonder how much of it is really reality. And what you're saying is it really is. I mean,
we're not scripted.
Not scripted at all.
And when they put us in that in the interview room, the pickups we're picking up the story to send it on to the next reel or whatever they're doing. They just let us go and we'll get giggled, we'll be saying stuff, and we just stand there and talk. They tell us about
that's how Say Yes to the Dress can turn into Say No to the Hoe real quick.
Look, I'm telling you, honey, the things I've seen are,
I was about to say that's got to be some scary stuff when you look
Sorry,
at a
Monty.
bride. Anyway,
This sounds fabulous.
I know, but Marcy, you had a question.
No,
No, you
I'm
didn't.
good.
Okay, I was just making sure because I thought you were like, okay, girl,
Yeah.
stop talking to us.
She's adding me to payroll right now. Thank you, Keith.
right.
I'm ready to get out. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Bring
but
it on.
but the thing is that when you let's say that you have a bride that's coming in and she has a vision of who she is
Mhm.
that is not based in reality. I mean, we've all been there. We've all dealt with it as event pros, and you go, okay, so, you're not a size 2. I love you, and you're gorgeous at the size that you are.
Right.
But stop fooling yourself. Here,
Right.
let's put you in something that actually makes sense. I mean, I was watching a not to say yes to the dress, a British
bad,
right, and they put her in this poor like sausage like filling dress, and I just felt so bad for her because I thought, oh my God, really, what are you doing to this poor girl? And I think that they were enjoying the fact that she was making a fool of herself versus trying to be a help. Do you feel like say yes to the dress is always trying to be of help to the people?
Our mission is always to have the bride's back. I mean, we're her backup.
Right.
So we're always doing that. But I tell you, we do. I mean, I've dealt with women that just don't understand a bride's size is so totally different. And each designer is totally different. I mean, a 2-in-1 designer, which is extremely small. If you ever get a bride wearing a 2, she is rack thin, right?
Yes.
But, 6, 8, the average size is an 18. That's where we are now. But each designer has a different size chart. And I had a bride and she was like, no, I want to try on this dress. She kept arguing with me. I said, it's just not going to fit you. Their size chart is extremely small.
Right.
It's just not going to work. And she kept yelling at me and making a scene. And finally she says, I have told you twice, I wear a size 2. I want to try on that dress and I want to try it on now. And I go, all right, I'd had it. I said,
very Cinderella in the shoe.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, all right, honey, here's where we're going to go with that.
Right.
You very well may be a size 2. But the only way you're going to fit into that designer's size 2 dress is if we put a 1 in front of it.
Work.
I mean, the sizes. Oh my God, she's ready to strangle me. But it's the truth. I mean, I know these sizes. Oh.
Please tell me that episode aired.
Girl, I'm gonna have to put myself on mute. I'm sorry. That's funny as hell. Anyway, but do you say, look, you're gonna have to buy that dress before you get into it? You're gonna rip that to shreds.
And I've told brides that want that slim fit mermaid real low, and I said, the only way we're gonna get that on you, honey, we're gonna have to put it on upside down. But I mean, and you try to do it, in
kindly.
And the whole thing is, I mean, they did interview me, Nikki Johnson, or patient's her name, but I loved her. There was 12 sisters in that family, and she was first to get engaged, and she fell in love with this dress.
Right.
She didn't want to buy it, but it was one of those dresses I've just got to try it on. It's not my style, but I've coveted this dress.
Right.
We got her in it. She came out on the runway. Afterwards, they asked me, Monty, what was it like getting Nikki in the dress of her dreams? And I just said, honey, I could have pulled the banks of the Mississippi together faster and easier than zipping her up in that dress. We got her in that aired. But I was like, oh my God.
Wait, that aired?
Come in here. She's going to come in here and get me.
Wait, that actually went on air? Did you ever so that actually did you ever say anything that went on air that you went, shoot, I really shouldn't have said that? Yeah,
I had a little helper, the Monte Boy Wonder, and we were at the end of the show, they put us in there and they're talking about us. And I said, God, you were a great helper today. Batman, and you're Robin. He goes, no, you're Batman. And he goes, I'm Batman and you are Robin. I go, oh. Boy Wonder. I've been called that a few times. And I did it right to camera. And that did go on. I was like, oh my God, what is
That's too funny.
I mean, we have a good time. But as you all know, because every one of you have been involved.
Yes.
It's a very hurry up and wait business.
Oh, 100%.
And it can take all day.
Oh,
and
God,
you're
it's
just,
crazy.
at the end of the day, you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to see anybody. You just want, I don't wear makeup. Here's another little thing behind the scenes. I don't like things on my skin, but that's why I wear glasses on the show. It covers up dark circles and it gives me eyebrows because his forehead, we could show the show on.
5 head?
So,
I mean, you're 5 head? Anyway.
Yeah, right. I mean,
I bought the same model.
It's just going even further back if I'm not careful here. What, Brooke?
I bought the same model, honey. I got you.
Right? I know. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh, Marcy, what were you going to say? I swear, I keep looking at you because I think you're going to say something.
I just find it so funny because it's like, basically it's, when you're doing an unscripted, it's just, it is what it is. And you blurt out things and you don't think about it. And it's just so funny that, here we are listening to you having the same kind of feel because we blurt out things all the time.
Oh, constantly, and being a live show, we once in a while, and we've only done it once. Actually, we've only had to edit the show once, and I'm not going to repeat that because that was stupid. But for the last 165 episodes, we've always been 100% non-edited, and we've only had to do like a 10-second snippet, and it was because of my asinine stuff. But it is what it is. But you know what?
Yeah,
go ahead.
You're working with your best friend Lori and I mean, her grandchildren are my goddaughters. That was enough alone getting them christened. Anyway,
okay, let me ask you a question. So randomly, okay. So here you are, 13 years ago. You're doing your thing. You're obviously being successful at what you do. Right. Here we are, fast forward 13 years, and you're opening up your store, Monte, and you're getting to wear like a vintage Gucci and a Mindy Lamb brooch. And you said that you're wearing a Mindy Lamb brooch today.
Oh, wait.
I mean, was that going to be something that would be possible before 13 years ago? Or is that because of Yes to the Dress?
Yeah. Okay. So the Gucci, yes, because I kept them and I went on a major diet to get back in them. So that I keep those clothes.
Right.
I've always been a clothes hound, right? So anything with, when Tom Ford was working for Gucci, that's how old that outfit was. The bell bottoms, I think, is what I had on. I had the goatee shirt. Anyway, I keep the older things and just recycle them. But, no, it wouldn't have. My hat is off to Discovery for discovering me.
Right.
And for giving me an opportunity. I covered the royal wedding. I was standing outside the Abbey when Kate Middleton.
I know. I was watching you. Yeah. Holy moly.
It's a commoner. And, here we go. She comes out as a princess. So
but your facial reactions during that were priceless.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, first of all, we had to run across the field, security trying to get through. Then my news feed went down. It just was crazy. And the night before, we stayed out until 2:00, and I was in the rain, standing outside the Goring Hotel where she stayed, singing, "She's getting married in the morning." And I had the whole crowd going with me. I was cheering everybody. It was raining. I was wet. And then I had to get up 2 hours later and report. Well, y'all know how it is. You don't.
Yeah.
When you do wedding planning, it's the same thing. You stay, you check everything out. It's 2 a.m. and you got to be up at 8 a.m. or
it is. Anyway. It is what it is. You roll with the punches. Always.
I had to run all the way from the living room to the back bedroom. It was horrible. I was late.
Right. But you know what it has done? I have been blessed with people that believe in me, trust me, and love me. And so I've been so fortunate with that. Yeah. And one of the greatest highlights that I've had through my church, I'm Episcopal, is that I had a private audience with Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Who was amazing, by the way. Amazing.
Right? I didn't know whether to kiss his ring or what I was supposed to do. I'm like, whatever. It took everything standing there not to say, holy F.
Right? Or use the Lord's name in vain kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
So but anyway. Where did this effortlessly beautiful campaign come from? Because I love the thought process behind it, because it really does say, look, you don't have to do a lot to your hair and makeup. You just have to have the right products, and you don't have to have a lot of products. You just have to have the right products to be effortlessly beautiful.
Right.
Where did that come from when you were thinking? Really?
Yeah, going through the airport. I mean, you try to minimize what you carry, and this before COVID and all that. And let me tell you, I'm the easiest sell. You go through the airport and they go, "Oh, this will get you through," and they don't even have to explain to me, like, sign me up, here's a credit card. But it's crazy. But I was watching women dump all this shit in the bucket, in the basket or tub.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. More than 3 ounces.
Coffee bucket.
So true.
Right. They've got all this stuff. And the one thing they'll tell you, the worst thing that can happen to a girl traveling is to not tighten one of those lids. Because it's all over. Because then it's like shake and bake and I helped. Y'all remember? You're just in there and it's all over the place. You just throw the whole thing out. So I thought for myself what I had to do. So I found a manufacturer here in the United States, and we started testing hair products that they manufacture. And it probably took me about 6 months total.
Yeah.
To get, I want the shampoo and conditioner have to work in conjunction. The rest of them you can cherry pick to get it in the lineup. So that's where it came from. And my own hair is very fine. So what I figured, if it's good for my hair, and like you and Brooke and Marcy, for your thick hair, you'd have to use more. Same product. And they're sulfate-free, paraben-free, not tested on animals. They're made in the U.S. Unfortunately, I can't say that on the bottle because the bottle is not made in the U.S. So, and another thing to look for in beauty products, you'll no longer be seeing sulfate-free. Yes. Because the FDA got involved with that, and in makeup as well. There are sulfates in every product that are good. They create the cleansing action, or they create the work that it needs to be done. Right. What you look for is sulfate laurite to be removed out of the formula.
Sulfate laurite. I mean, did you ever think that you would be a chemist?
I didn't even think I'd be a hairstylist. I mean, that was a lick and a prayer.
You're like, oh, wait, I actually know what that means.
Yeah, right.
Because when you just said it, I went, I have no idea what he's saying. I have zero idea.
It's just a combination, as we progress in this arena of beauty and health, things are more focused than they were before. And I will tell you what I found out. Now, I am turning... And this is y'all's opportunity to say, God, you don't look that. And I expect to hear that, by the way. I'm turning 66 this year. So I'm like, oh my God.
You look like a damn good 66.
Yeah, 60, right. Well, wait till I turn off this light here. Let me turn off the light. I mean, but anyway.
I'm 82. Anyway, no.
Right. So, but what I have found, women who usually purchase things for the food, the house, and things, they're conscious of environmental things.
Yeah.
Right? And they're conscious of food, how it's made, how you recycle, that all encompasses a lifestyle inside the home or the nucleus, right? Mm. When it comes to beauty, they don't give a damn if this is full of ox manure. If it gets that wrinkle away, I'm buying it. So that's where education has now shifted.
That is
I'll take
true.
2.
I know.
Right. I'm the same way. They're like explaining things to me, formulas. I'm going, no, does it work? I mean, let's cut the chaser. I ain't got all day.
Well, I mean, and so much stuff has whale sperm.
That's a black card to run it.
Right, like, exactly.
You're like, whale sperm? Yeah. What? Why is whale sperm? No, they don't care. They're like, give it to me. But so you went into this effortlessly beautiful, and then you went into the full Monte product, which is your shampoo, your one-step conditioner, your natural lift, your taming balm, and your Everhold spray. And I love the fact that, before we went on air, I want you to describe what MONTE actually stands for, because I thought it was really clever.
Yeah, I even think on this
great branding.
Great even branding. A blind squirrel gets a nut every now and then. So But yeah, so when I developed the mission statement, as I said before, is you don't need a lot of product if you have a right product. So what are we going to do? We got a shampoo, we got a condition. People either want their hair to be fuller or they want it smooth and polished. And then they want to hold the set. So there's 5 products.
Right.
N, moisturizing shampoo. O, one-step conditioner. N, natural root lift for lift in the root area. T, taming balm that smooths and polishes the hair. Obviously, I didn't use today. And hairspray, Everhold hairspray. So in each bottle, there's a little red box, and it has that initial MONTE referencing the product.
Yeah.
And you get the full Monty.
I need all that. I need the full Monty. Keith, pay the man.
Yeah, right. So, you know, awesome. So, and it works. And I have a travel kit.
Right.
And so you can take it on the road, right? And fill it from the larger 8-ounce.
But it's a travel kit, like in the right amount ounces that is
2
allowed.
ounces. Yeah. 2 ounces. Yeah.
See, that's smart.
It's Ziplocked. It's in a little baggie. Ziplocked. And when I was doing this, I looked at tapestry bags. I looked, and so I started interviewing women as I was going through the airport, and I go, so would you, if you had a little cosmetic bag, what would you like? And they go, oh, we don't need anything else to take care of. We're going to throw this in the drawer, throw it in the, like, we don't want, throw it in the bathroom, the shower. We don't want anything we feel like we have to wipe off and take, and it's got tassels on it and stuff.
Right.
So it's in a black trimmed bag that holds all the products, and they sit in there spelling out my name, of course. And the other reason I did it, should I go public with this, it was on Amazon. I pulled it off. It was just, that was way too much work for me. Is that I never had to worry about how it was going to be merchandised, because it spells my name.
Right.
Put it in put it out the way it spells my name. So it's safety net at that as well.
Well, so it's really interesting, because I find that it's fascinating that you have all of this like skincare, home care product, and yet you're well known for wedding dresses, which are obviously fabric and not self-care.
No.
Did you start in like hairdressing and that world, and then
moved over? Yeah.
And then you moved over.
Yeah, I was a personal shopper in a department store, and
God, that's my
here
dream.
in the DC area, right. And women would tell me 2 things: they could never get clothes altered to the way they like them, and their hair never felt good. They could never explain to a hairdresser. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to sew, but I bet I can do hair. So I went back to Grandma International here in Virginia, and I was selected to attend the academy. So I graduated from the academy in London, UK.
Right.
And so that was great. And so I came back. So I was doing hair and beauty, and then nobody in the salon wanted to do brides. I have 3 sisters. Trust me. So I started doing bridal, and I started doing hair and makeup for bridal.
Right.
Then Priscilla Boston, now no longer existent, the owner, Trisha Knabe, came over and said, why don't you help me sell dresses? You used to sell clothes. So that's how it all merged.
Well, was that luck? Did you feel like some of that was luck, or was that just because you were in the right place at the right time? I feel like that's luck.
Yeah, I agree that.
Or really good marketing.
Yeah,
right.
I think there's 2 things to attribute it to, and I always tell them, right place, right time, luck, right?
Right.
But the biggest thing that I always tell my staff and to myself every day is like, I've never forgotten I'm the hard help. You have hired me to do a job, and I'm here to do it. We can be friends, we can be whatever, but I expect you to tell me what to do, and I expect to be able to do it. So I've never forgotten that I'm the hard help. So
as we all do our little clap. How as important is your history? Because as I was reading through your bio, I know. Oh, here we go. As I was reading through your bios and all of that, are we going to do the tier thing? Anyway, so I found that your history is super important to you, because it's brought up a lot. It is, your mom, your dad, paying tribute to them comes up a lot. I mean, I was actually kind of surprised because, I love my mom. She's still alive. Everybody knows how much I love her, but I don't bring her up.
I think moms are nice.
Yeah, I mean, but it seemed like that your parents had a real big influence in who you are, because and the other piece is that people call you Southern gentlemen a lot. I mean, that term Southern gentleman is used in almost every every single article that I read about you.
You can't say bastard. I guess they could. I guess they could, but thank God they chosen the latter.
Right, but I mean, how much is that attributed to your family and to your upbringing? Because you said you have 3 sisters, right? 3 sisters.
So, I did say yes to the prom with these deserving students.
Right.
I don't know if you've seen that clip, and I'll back up. And the reason I got involved with that, I grew up in West Virginia, right? In a holler, literally. I grew up in a house with no running water and outside toilet.
Holy crap.
And we had to pull that every night to get that together.
Wow.
And I tell these students, I mean, you see me up here in suits and, on stage and on TV. You didn't see me at night holding a lantern to go to the bathroom. You didn't see us dipping water into a pan, heating it on a stove so we could wash up. To get to school, where we had to walk a mile because my great-grandfather put the school in our neighborhood. And then my mother and her siblings had to walk 5. No. So it's a story that I tell. So, and my parents saw through that and forced us to move into Virginia. And my mother was the lead on that. And I tell everybody, God, I'm going to get choked up. She...
Oh, honey. No, seriously. I love this because, pay tribute to your mom because she was amazing.
Yeah. My mom had a 2-seater, Monty.
Yeah, right.
At us. She had no electricity, the tanner, but they were the richest one on the spot. They had a 2-seater house.
I just tell everybody, she held the ladder for me to climb to the stars.
Right.
So, and my father as well, support that. And I've written a book.
What's the book?
It's on the back burner. It's not been published yet. I go down that road every now and then. I'm like, I don't know. It's called The Boy Behind the Water Fountain.
Yes.
In school, those tall brown water fountains that were in the alcove. I used to be so little and so skinny. I mean, I was just little. And of course, we moved to Virginia.
You're right.
When I was in West Virginia, everybody were my cousins or kinfolk. We're all married, divorced, or had a baby by them. Right. So you knew everybody. Right. So you moved to Virginia and the bullying started. I was effeminate. I had a high voice. I didn't have good clothes. So when the bell rang in school, I could go and slide behind that water fountain and hang out there. And right before the bell closed, I could get into my class. And it kept me from being pushed and shoved and beat up on going to class.
Because you were small enough to
sorry for me.
Yeah, but because you were tiny enough to disappear in the background.
Right behind it, and the crowds went past me. And then when I got in high school, I joined choir, junior high. And you wore robes so nobody could see my clothes weren't as good as others.
Well, because
you kind of navigate it.
But are you saying your clothes were second class? Is that what you're saying? Is that because you come from a poor background that, people would pick on you because you didn't have?
Well, I think I was bullied more because of the femininity and being small. But you've got to remember the clothes opportunities for me were small. My sisters, of course, I had 3 sisters and they had to be dressed. They had to be in fashion. So I would have to repeat my clothes much more often than they did. Not bad or good. I mean, it's just the way I grew up. So
well, but my mom, when we first started out, we lived in a double wide. We did. We lived in a double wide. My mother was a lineman for the phone company because they paid more money. So she climbed those damn telephone poles to hang. Wow. Exactly. Went back to school, came from Germany when she was 16, didn't speak the language, went back for her degree, went back for her law degree. I couldn't be her. Let me put it that way. Yeah. I could not be her because I'm used to being primped and having it easy because she made it easy for me.
Right.
Bougie. Just bougie.
Yeah, I know.
So right. Bougie.
That's right. Look at Carson's pens now. Gucci, baby. Let them house now from Virginia.
Taking it home.
But what I love is that, I read here that you have a gold rose brooch in memory of your mom and best friend.
Right. Yeah. I found that when we were preparing her for funeral, and I wear it on occasion, but on the show, if you saw me, the last segment, I wore a turtleneck because my ties and shirts would ruffle and it would get the staff crazy, the sound tech. But the whole time she was ill, I wore a cameo with a rose in it, and her name's Rose. So I kept that on the whole time. So,
but you know how great of you to honor your family like that.
Yeah,
and
my dad, yeah, he was great.
And I just don't. I don't feel like our current young adults understand what history really means to us as a society. And I think that we're really seeing it now with what's happening in, Ukraine, is that, there was a time before peace here.
Oh, yeah.
And we just we're lucky because we got to grow up in this.
Lucky.
We are so lucky.
So lucky.
That our questions are about fabric and style and size versus how are we going to get to the chapel without, any other incursion, so to speak,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and so how does this play into your not-for-profits? Because I know that you are huge in giving back to your community. Yeah. I mean, every single bio that I seem to read about you was talking about how the fact that you try to continuously give back to the charities around you. And let me just pull my notes. Capital Caring House. Capital Caring Hospice and Ronald McDonald's House seem to be two that kept coming up over and over.
Right. I'm hospice trained. So during the AIDS epidemic, when there weren't enough nurses or people understanding that, I became hospice trained, and I did in-home service for our fellow soldiers that have marched on ahead of us. So that was so important to me to do that. And then the Ronald McDonald Foundation, I go and speak to these young students that are struggling, whether it be with health issues or whether it be that financial issues. And we were in Miami a couple of times with Say Yes to the Prom with that, and working with the families and showing. And I tell my story of how we do it. And, hopefully it's motivational, it's inspiring, and it's encouraging. So, that you too can do this. I didn't do anything. I went to community colleges. I couldn't afford universities. You can do this. Stay true to who you are and what you want to be. It can happen. I'm proof. So, I get out there and I talk about that. But yeah, I'm now involved with the USO. So I work with our service members, marry me in the military. I go out and help our service members pick the right dress for they get off and deployed. Animal rescue. I rescue Welsh Terriers. No surprise. It was a dog Jackie had in the White House for Caroline. River Farm, a historical property here that we save the green spaces in our land. So yeah, I do a lot of giving back, and we're constantly, it sometimes can be a tad overwhelming. I've only got so much time. I'm trying to run a hair salon, and oddly enough, they believe I should be in there too when they come in to get a photo if they're not even going to get their hair done about products. So.
Well, and I guess that comes into it, right? Because you are famous, and then some people are coming into your salon because they want to get their hair done, but because they want to see you.
No, and the city, I'm fortunate, Alexandria touts that, we're a new business, we're doing good, we're about beauty and hair. We're in the quadrant of new development in historical Old Town on the waterfront. And one day they had a damn tour bus stop, and they get out and stand. We have a breezeway, and they're saying, I had to come out on the, we're 2 steps to 3 steps up. And I felt like Evita Perón. I was
fabulous, darling. I love that for you.
Thank you. But, it is challenging. And I was just in New York for a hair show, and it's amazing. You get in with all those hairdressers, the noise and everything. I too am shopping. I mean, I have a business to run. Stopping, autographing, and doing photos are great. And I mean, for somebody who was bullied and nobody wanted me on their team and nobody would talk to me or sit beside me at lunchtime, what a blessing to have this. However, I got a mission too. I got a mission too. But it's all good. I'm blessed.
I have to tell you, we've talked about this, and I am very honest about who I am, and to our listeners and to the people that watch us and listen to us. And I've watched, we've talked about my mental health issues that we've gone through because COVID was rough,
right?
But one of the things that you just touched upon is that I remember back in the 1980s when I was a hospice care worker, and it was just an
challenging.
Whoa, what happened there? I just went into a dark space. Anyway, but I went into, I don't think people really understand what we lived through as gay men. And, and God bless our straight allies and the other people that were in this world. But there were a time that we felt really alone, that there was a time that I thought, I could have never imagined when I was my 23-year-old or 24-year-old myself, and I'm giving myself a little bit more years than I should. Anyway, but I never would have imagined that I'd be doing this today. I mean, never in a million years, I think, in my youth, that I would be able to do this show, talk to you when we were watching so many people around us. Yeah. And I think that's something that I wish more people would revert back to and say, God bless us. God bless us for succeeding and living and seeing the positive side of life.
Oh yeah.
Because God bless, I find myself lucky every single day.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm here.
Right. And we got car, we got food and all that. And with hospice, I mean, the one thing, their arms are always open, right?
Right.
And it takes many hands to accomplish these goals. And, for some that I thought that their end of journey was near, they come in and then a week later they're out and about, and others, I'm thinking, oh, you're just going to get a reprieve. You're going to do good. I will say this, religious on the cusp of it, however you want to read it, but miracles happen every day.
Oh, I believe that. So, I totally believe that.
They just do. So I've witnessed them. So
how important is looking good even later in life?
Because you have to ask that question.
I'm like,
what the hell?
Who's over here?
Right. I mean,
already know.
What the hell was that about?
But you know what I mean? Because they say
you and your questions.
They say beauty is lost on the youth. They say that beauty is lost on the youth. That oh my God, the youth, it's wasted on the youth because they have no idea of how beautiful they really are. Right. And I mean, I look back at pictures of myself and I remember being in those times and thinking, oh, I'm a 6'3" redhead, white, gay guy running around like, and I look back at my pictures of myself and I said, what the hell was I thinking? I'm hot. Jesus. Right? I should,
what I tell you in the elevator on Saturday.
Right.
But I mean, they say, it's wasted on the youth, but when we're older in life and being somebody that's in your position that is able to dress people and make them feel good, hair, makeup, skin products, clothing, how important is it for us as older individuals not to let ourselves be complacent?
Well, I think it's good. I mean, people, ask me what, where does your interest hit you when about yourself, my self-image? Right. And I always go, my figure. I want to stay thin
because you look great. Please.
Yeah, well, you're sweet, but I work on that. Trust
me. This is
all
camera.
Right. And then my skin. I want my skin to be smooth. It can be there, whatever. I've never had any work done. Not saying I won't. And then my hairs last because I'll cut my hair, grow it, let it grow. I won't color it or anything.
Yeah, but you've got great hair. Oh my God, you got
the color hair. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a gray suit on the other day and a gray shirt, and I looked in the mirror and I went, "Shit, I look like a Q-tip." I mean, I was just all gray. What the hell? Lord, let me get out of this. But I think as we get older, our beauty shifts. I tell everybody, when you're younger, your hair's thick, your waist is thin. When you're older, your waist is thick and your hair's thin, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I think the beauty then evolves within us. And what happens, if we get this too much, and I'm not saying you got to do what makes you feel good, right? Right. It's just not for me right now. I'm saying that. I think erasing some of my history, my smiles, my laughter, my laying in the sun with iodine and baby oil and
yes,
you know, and
I remember those days.
Right.
Oh, please, butter. Give me some margarine. Let me slather that all over myself. Yes.
So, while the outer beauty may be wasted or not appreciated on the youth, that inner beauty becomes our strong suit. Because we look more within now. We look more about, are we being a good person? Are we doing the right thing? Are we doing what makes us happy? When we're younger, we may do whatever it takes to get the new car or whatever. But as you age on, you're just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. You know.
So do you ever find that, you know, because of your position and because you're so well known, I mean, and I'm asking as somebody that, you know, doesn't have, I'm trying to ask questions that as if I was somebody that was just watching this for the first time.
Okay.
You know, do you ever have the moment that you feel like people are just talking to you because you're famous?
You know what? I have to honestly say, and I've been told this by Discovery TLC executives.
Right.
I come across on TV as friendly and easy.
Yes.
People approach me that way too. So I have to tell you, they come up, they tell me stories. They want to share. And I'll say, and like if I'm in a hurry, and oh God, forgive me for this, but they'll say, you'll never believe what happened to me on my wedding day. And I go, no, but I bet you're going to tell me. You know, and I don't mean to be that way, but if I'm trying to get my car washed, I don't have a personal assistant. I'm just trying to
I'm just trying to shop. I'm just trying to get groceries for myself, for God's sake.
I got to get this damn orange juice and get out of here.
I just want to get in and out.
Right. So, you know, I'm fortunate that people will approach me in a very personal level. And they tell me some things that are just so lovely, you know, to hear and share, and, you know, based on experience, right? And a lot of people just want to be listened to. And it can be challenged for me if I'm in a hurry. And I tried to, if it's nowhere that is time sensitive, I'm good. But I give myself 30 minutes here or there, 20 stuff. But no, I don't feel that. Some of my old Queen friends, yes, that no longer keep in touch with me. And they're like, you know, that snap me every time they see me. I'm like, whatever, go girl.
Yes, please go do your thing. Hello.
Right. But
you know,
no, I'm fortunate.
But, you know, I mean, and there is something to be said about that. I mean, do you feel like there's pressure that you always have to look good at this point? You know, can you go to the grocery store in your sweats or you're just socks, no tennis shoes?
I protect my image by not owning a pair of sweats, and I only one pair of jeans. And what I do, if I'm in summer, you may see me in cargo shorts.
Right.
And I don't wear short sleeves. So if you see me on short sleeves, that will be a telltale sign. And
like, don't come near me kind of thing.
Well, no, it's supposed to be like, oh my God, he's lost something.
I was like, he's losing it. I got the message.
Don't wear them. No, and when I travel, it was funny. I was at a resort working, and I came down early in the morning to get a cup of tea, which I gave up for Lent. And let me tell you, I was
tea. You gave up tea?
Hot Earl Grey tea.
That's
and it
what
was
I'm drinking now.
Degrees. Oh, Brooke.
I have a sip for you.
I gave up tequila. I feel like an ass. I mean,
I'm like, oh my God, I was in New York. It's 19 degrees and raining and snowing, and I couldn't have tea, but I got around it. But anyway, right, exactly. It's just, you know, it all around us. It's all going to balance itself out. But I was at this resort, and I was down at breakfast, and I just threw on a jacket, a pair of jeans, and a shirt that I probably wore the night before. And the woman looked at me and she goes, how are you dressed like this, making us look so bad? It's 7:30 in the morning. And I go, because I didn't bring any sweats.
Oh my God. Like, how dare somebody actually say that to you?
Right. And I'm like, I have gym clothes that wear to the gym, but you won't see me running around in them. But that's how I protect my image. It's nothing that I'm all that. I always have a jacket and a shirt. So if I have it on with jeans or anything, you know, you put a pocket square on anything and people just think you're dressed.
Oh my God. But that actually leads me to my next question. It's like, do you feel that you're held to a higher standard than most because of your fame.
I do. I do think that I'm expected to have a certain look, right?
All the time.
And and it's pretty easy for me because when you grow up poor and no clothes, you buy a lot of clothes, so you want to wear your clothes.
Right.
And I wore hand-me-downs that never fit me because I was so small. So now having tailored clothes and things that fit me. So I actually enjoy dressing. And to most people's surprise and happy that I don't enjoy undressing, but not quite the same effect.
I have to tell you, I don't like mirrors in my bedroom either.
Right.
Thank you very much.
I'm not gonna get the
Meanwhile, at
same
the mansion.
I won't get the same accolades doing that. But anyway.
So what is important to, what is an important project that you're currently working on? What is something that is really important to you that you feel like, if I had a platform to really talk about this, say goodbye to say yes to the dress, say goodbye to whatever else, what are your current projects?
Right,
yeah. Right. What's next for you?
There is a little rumble with Am Roberts Media about doing a show. We tried before COVID, and then we had to put that out. But anyway, at the end of that, we're still not knowing where we are with that, right? Because we're still looking. But I think the ability to have the salon continue to be successful and launching the Monte products and doing that, because that platform enables me to give back. Yeah. And to see the rewards when people walk out of the salon with the hair and stuff. We have top stylists and everything. And the clients will go, "Oh my God, I look so much better." And I'm like, "Well, honey, it only had one way to go."
You're like, you were down here.
Okay, so I think that I've got to dive in and get this salon where I want it at 100% at every single day, right? We're at 99, so or probably at 90 really, but at 100. And that enables me financially and time-wise to give back to these causes that are so important to me and to reach out to the community. And it keeps me well known in the community, which is great. I walked down the street. I was walking the dogs this morning, and a truck just pulled up beside me, and they just screamed out, "Good morning, Monte." Good morning.
Were you picking up your dog too at the time? That's always fun.
Yeah, it's cute. Right. Yeah.
You're
always like an appropriate time. So
I have a question about
Marcy,
trends.
Go ahead, Marcy.
I have a question about trends or fads.
Okay.
So it could be on either the clothes, or it could be, on wedding dresses, or it could be on hair.
Okay.
With the current state that we're in, what do you see coming down? Like, what do you think is in now, and where do you think we might be going in the near future?
When we're looking at, we'll start with face first, because we've been under masks for so very long.
Right.
So that has switched the conversation to more eyes. So I think we're seeing a few more eye lifts, maybe. So with makeup, I think it's still soft and dewy and, not heavy done. A concentration on the eyes, lips, addressed, but nothing like crazy. Remember those Egyptian eyeliners and
God.
Right? Remember
all this
they wore ball gowns with every bit of glitter.
They're all
I think we're going to still see a more of that clean face look, even though it's not necessarily a clean face, but you'll see that. In dresses, wedding gowns, I think you're going to see still a conservative look, meaning beautiful fit, incredible fabric, but very simple, very architectural, which is, if I'm a friend of Jackie, there you go.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So I think we'll see that. Trains and veils are coming back in vogue. Buttons and bows, some, any type of bow interest, the buttons down the back fit. Yeah. I think there will still be a deep dive here. The girls seem to want that and see that as well. Hair, I think we're seeing it loose, very much like Brooke has. I mean, that seems to be the trend. And and just pull half up and half down.
Every shampoo.
Right? Exactly. All right, got it. And then the one thing that bothers me is when I see these beautiful chignons with that classic hair pullback, and they put the veil up under the neck. I'm like, why even bother put it on?
Right?
It doesn't spread out. It's got to be at the occipital bone so it comes over your shoulders. Otherwise, it's just a trail coming behind you.
I totally had to rip out a veil just recently and put it back on her head because she had and I went, no.
Why is it under that?
I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah, it's just maddening. Flowers, I think we'll still see east to west. I think we're going to see a lot of greenery still going with that. We're seeing an injection of color into the bouquets where there used to always be monochromatic.
Thank God.
Table settings, I think, have gone back to a very formal style.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes.
Wanting to see formal tables. I'm still seeing arrangements high, but in our neck of the woods, the arrangements are low and running the whole length of the table.
Yeah,
they're wanting. Yeah, they don't want the candelabra and all that. They want everything down low, a lot of greenery and that type of stuff.
You know what I've been finding a lot of is, and I mean, God, I hate the fact that I'm actually going to say this, is rentals. Rental florals. I mean, we just had a wedding at the W, and gorgeous wedding, gorgeous, beautiful wedding, and they rented their bouquets, and I almost had a little bit of a heart attack, and I was like, "What are you doing? I don't understand. What are you doing?" But they looked great in photos, and they said, "Look, it's green," and we were able to put that money towards something else, and I just thought, well, okay, I may have to stop and rethink that.
It worked out. I'm not one for fake florals. However, I packaged them to return them, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Right,
right.
Job exactly. You've got that to deal with, and we're seeing that on the altars, a mixture of synthetic and real flowers.
Right. And I think that goes with the green. You know, everybody's trying to be a little bit more earth friendly, especially because we had such a huge issue with getting florals.
Shortages,
because
I mean, you kind of had to that for a certain stretch of time. You had to kind of incorporate both because you couldn't get your hands on all real.
Right.
And transportation issues and now money wise. So I mean, we're almost to God, I can't believe how quickly this went. I have so many more questions.
So Marcy and Brooke and Keith, I want you to both do some favor for me. Please put your bride in a heel. They're wearing shoes.
Yes. No, there's no such thing as a bride in a flat. Who are you talking to?
You are talking to you already know. I refuse to wear. Keith makes me put my flats on the last 2 hours, and I'm like, nope. But sometimes I have to. But I wear heels doing my job. Truck right through.
They just shift your whole body,
even if it's for the ceremony and the reception. You know.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean,
who puts their bride in a flat? Who?
And you saw is it Mola Blahnik that's doing the Birkins with that? Is Mola Blahnik the blue shoe with the big buckle on it?
I'm
a wedding shoe.
I haven't seen that yet.
You're going.
We're going off the air. Nobody talks about that.
Right. Yeah.
But there is something to be said about a high heel shoe. It does. It makes you pull your shoulders back.
Right.
I think everyone should wear high heels.
I agree, bro.
You know,
I'm 5 feet tall, so anything that's going to make me higher, taller.
I'm 6 foot, and I shouldn't wear them, and I still refuse to wear anything less than 4 inches.
You should wear them.
It's an attitude. It just creates an attitude.
And have you seen these legs? They go all the way up, honey.
But you know what?
I bet they do, bro.
But if you want to switch out of your high heels later, fine. But for your ceremony, put on some high heels because it really does make a difference. And for F's sakes, practice. Oh my God. If you haven't worn high heel shoes, practice. The whole idea of vacuuming, with your high heels on, that's not so far-fetched, guys.
I still do.
And they don't have to be 5 feet tall. 5 inches tall. They can be, 3 or 4 inches, and it's still going to give you that effect because you're going to feel that, I think.
Oh, so this comes up for the wedding dresses. How many times have you had somebody do the fitting for the wedding dress and didn't bring their high heels?
A lot. But in the salon, we have them. We have shoes. So we try to tell them. The biggest thing when girls, I think it's out of fashion. It is out of fashion in this arena.
Yeah.
The triple G's. So things are going back to more of D's and C's.
Right.
But for a bride to measure, and then their dress comes in and they've had implants before.
Or they don't bring their undergarments.
Right. And you're like, where are we supposed? Because, when they're man-made, they
sit different.
Go this way. And dresses used to be made this way because you had to herd them in. Right. Well, now they're under the muscle and they're just there.
Well,
it's like
people,
a baby's ass on your chest. I mean, it's
I love that. But it's funny that you even say that, because I think that it's important for people to understand that if we're not saying don't get plastic surgery. I'm a huge fan of plastic surgery. Massive fan.
I encourage it.
I encourage it
too.
Look your best, baby.
Right. I agree.
You can.
What makes you feel good.
Right, but your dress is going to fit differently, and it's important to talk to whoever you're getting your dress from, that they understand what you're doing or what you're going to get done or what you've had done, because it just measures differently. It just does. And
try not to get pregnant.
And here's the thing, Keith, and I've said this 1,000 times to you over the 4 years. Your number one job is to talk your brides out of bad decisions.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Monty,
including pregnancy.
Yeah, I mean,
don't make me a baby. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was not in regards to that.
Well, yeah, we had a wedding. Actually, we had a wedding recently, and we had to put a whole bunch of new tool on her because she was about 4 months pregnant. So we're trying to do everything we could to,
yeah.
But we got to do the baby shower too. So
Yeah,
all right,
silver
Monty.
linings.
Honey, Monty, thank you. Oh my God, you were awesome. Thank you so much for being on Behind the Veil. I cannot thank you enough. I mean, this conversation was wide ranging. I have to tell you, I put
on the most expensive lashes I own for you, sir. I mean, this was something
and they
for
look
me.
Fabulous. And I noticed, Brooke, you fix yourself so the crown on top of the mirror almost centers on your head.
Well, yes, please.
Yeah, right.
I just want to let them know in case they forgot.
Right. I love
Brooke always has a ground. Monty from Say Yes to the Dress and his new line, Monte, M-O-T-E. Monte Durham, thank you so much for being on Behind the Veil. Of course, Marcy Gutenberg with An Afraid to Remember by Marcy, and the always beautiful Brooke Logan Stoner. We say thank you, and we will see you next week at Tuesday at 2:00. But for now, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.